Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CMAtics video session 74. So in today's video, we will again continue from where we left off. Okay. So if I open my recipe once again, so we were calculating derived fields, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, okay, first of all, let's check whatever we have done till now. Uh, I was thinking if I can explain you how we can actually map the current date. For example, not current date, I mean to say that created date. Okay, what are the different ways we can do it? For example, here we have created it excluding time, right? We have done it in this manner. Okay, and I've shown you there was one way we have done, I think, created it excluding time. Okay, here I think it's, it's this one. We have done created it excluding time. There are different ways actually to do this as well. Okay, and I will show you how we can further find the difference. Okay, so let's say if I want to find the created date excluding time. Okay, so what I will do is I will just hover to this created date. Okay, let me go to custom formula. Now here we have, and this is just to explain you what are the different functions which are available. Okay, so here we have something called as to timestamp. Okay, this to timestamp, if you see, okay, let me just click on plus and let me bring it over here. Fine. And this to timestamp, we have actually given the field and the format in which we want, okay, which is optional. So first of all, let me put it as text. Fine. And let's say I write it as created date excluding time. Okay. Let me write it as 2. Okay. Or 1. That's fine. Okay. Let me just write it over here as well. Fine. And what I will do is I will give the field, which is that one, which is created date. Okay. And what will be the format? The format is, let's say this one. I want it in this format. Okay. So I will just paste it over here. That's it. Okay. And I think this has to be in single quotes. Yeah. And let me click on apply. Okay. Something went wrong. What it is saying, created is compatible output the timestamp data type, but the selected output is text. Okay. Fine. This is to timestamp created date, and I've uh, done this one. Okay. Okay. As you can see, this got converted. I think I could have skipped this part. Fine. This is an optional part. We can skip this part as well. Okay. But the main idea is here, I will give that format. Okay. Now, this is also another way where you can actually, convert the created date into time. Okay. Just want to tell you this part is there of 2_9, but the easy one is, of course, if you just map the created date, that also helps you out. Okay. I agree. That's completely fine. Okay. Okay. Now let's move a little bit on the difference which we were calculating till now. Okay. So I think we have calculated only one difference, if I'm not wrong. Let's check from the left side. Yeah, we have calculated the number of days between created date and closed date, right? That's the difference which we calculated. Okay. And that's the only difference. Now, if I go to my data flow, right, there are a lot of calculation which we did. Okay. So one way is this one. Now this is a little bit complex. This underscore d underscore epoch doesn't work, but I will show you how differently we can do. Okay. Now this date diff will actually work. Okay. So let's say I want to calculate the difference. Okay. So let me come over here. Let me map it as this one. Okay, closed it and created it. That's completely fine. And here, what I will do is I will actually have the date diff. Okay, so let me search with date diff. There's a function called date diff. Okay, so let me bring it over here. And what we can do is we can give the end date and we can give the start date. Okay, so date underscore diff, what we were doing, we were giving the created date and closed date, right? So here I will give the created date. Okay, and here I will give the start date. That is the closed. Yeah, that's fine. And here I will give it as numbered, of course. Okay. Precision, I mean, I can give it as 7, I think. That's fine, or let it be 10, not an issue. Okay, the number of significant digits, right? Now, if you see over here, so this is how we are calculating. Now it's giving me in minus because I think I have to take the other way around. Okay, so what I will do is I will take the close date. Okay, I will take the close date, and here I will take the created date. Okay, now it's fine. Here it was the other way around. Okay, we had to take the day and it was closed date minus created date, but we had to take the closed date at a later stage. But here in the recipe side, you take the difference. So for example, if you see here, like if you see one of the example, so my close date here is 18/8/2024, right? 18/8/2024. And my, sorry, created it is 18/8/2024 and my close date is 29/10/2031. Okay. So definitely the difference is in terms of days will get approximately this. But in data flow, when we were doing it, we had to ensure that the first was created, the next was closed it. But here we don't have to. If and it gives you in terms of day, okay, the date div which you have over here, right? It automatically gives you the number of days. I think we can also check if the value is a bit low. For example, we can check for this one, okay? For this one, and the above one is 2. For here, if you see, the created date is 15th 9, right? And the close date is 79, it is 2, and here it is 69. So it's giving appropriately. So this date diff function, right? You don't have to worry. Like in data flow, we had to give like in terms of days, seconds, whatever you want. Here, when you're giving that function date diff, you don't have to worry. Like whether it's hours, seconds, date, doesn't matter. It will automatically give you in terms of day in the recipe side. Okay, that's date diff. And in data flow, we have date underscore. This is the format. So there's a little bit difference, and I wanted to show you this part. Okay. Now, moving ahead, this is one way to calculate. Then there was another thing called this one, okay, created it underscore. Now see, this will not work. This epoch part doesn't work. We are not dealing with epoch much over here, okay? But I will show you what's the other way to do this. Fine. So let's say I create the formula once again, okay? Now this one, sorry. Okay, let me first map the data type as number. And here, let me just give this name properly. Now I will write it as 2, okay? Instead of 1, 2, and the same thing I will copy here. Now that's fine. Now, if you observe this, okay, so this one, if I just simply copy this from here, right, it won't work out. It will give me an error because here in recipe, we don't deal with epoch and all, okay. This closed it, don't understand on the recipe side, okay. Now, what's the better way to calculate? See, when in data flow, we were just writing underscore day underscore epoch, right? And automatically it was taking the day part into consideration, taking the standard time of 1970. I explained you in a detailed manner. Now here, what you have to do here, basically, the thing is that there's a function which we have, okay, which converts into an epoch second. Okay, so let me tell you that function in recipe is nothing but this one. Where is the date part? Okay, let me, yeah, there's a function called toUnix timestamp. Okay, toUnix timestamp means basically it converts it into the epoch seconds. That's the thing. toUnix timestamp is basically it converts into epoch second. Just remember this. That's the function which we have in recipe. See, that is not required. Okay, but in case we have to do certain subtraction and all those things, we already have a lot of functions where you don't have to understand how to convert it. But because we had done a lot in data flow, I'm just showing you one of the way, and this is not recommended. Let me tell you, this is not recommended at all. But I just wanted to show you what are the different functions we can use via recipe to calculate the difference between dates. Okay, now here what I will do is toUnix timestamp. Okay. First of all, if you just want to do a normal subtraction like plus minus, I mean, if you want to calculate in that manner, what you have to do is toUnix timestamp. We will take the close date, of course. Okay. And the same thing I will copy here. Fine. I will write it as minus, and here I will write it as created date. Okay. Now, sorry. Okay. That's fine. Now, see this one actually what we have to do, this is giving you in seconds, right? This is giving you in seconds. But now here the thing is that we want it in terms of day. Okay. Now you already know that one day contains how many seconds? 3600 seconds, right? So if you want in terms of day, you already got the division, isn't it? Then what you have to do, so I'm sorry, 1 hour is okay, let me do the calculation now. I'm sorry. Hmm. Yeah, I think we were doing this calculation here, right? 1 hour is 3600 seconds, and one day will be how many seconds? 86400 seconds. Okay. So what we will do is just to get it in terms of day, because this one will give you in terms of seconds. Okay. This one will give you in terms of second, the difference between them in terms of seconds. But if you want in terms of day, what I will do is here, I will divide by 86400. Okay. That's it. And let me click on apply. So if you see here, this one, okay, there will be a slight difference. I think I already told you why that slight difference comes into picture, because once we are calculating in seconds, there's a little bit of time gap. Like in created, we have the timestamp, right? That's why there could be a little bit of difference, but that's fine. That is something which we also found out when we were doing data flow. Like we already found out in this three, for days between, there was a little bit of a time gap which we were getting. Okay, that's fine. For 1 day, 2 days, we get it because that created it has a timestamp, and maybe, if that doesn't match, uh, if certain time didn't elapse, then it shows you in that manner. Okay, but anyways, that's fine, but still it's quite close if you see just 1 day gap. So this also helps you to calculate the difference. Fine. Again, this is not recommended. I mean, you can just go for dative, or simply how we used to find the difference, right? There's a normal way we have found out right here. So if you're using the recipe, yeah, return duration between days, that was the easiest way to find out. Okay, definitely use this function where you can 1 minute, where actually you give the created date, the ended, and it gives you the result, right? So that's the easiest way to find out. Okay. And other than that, you can use these functions like date, div, and whatever I showed you. Okay. That's the few of the techniques which you can do. Fine. Now, similarly with this, if you also want to calculate this one, right? That is created date in PST zones. So what you have to do, there's a function which we have. Okay. So let me show you this part very quickly. So over here, if I go to my custom formula and let me map this part over here. So created date, this one. Okay. What we will do is so at the end of the day, it's an 8 hours of difference, which I explained you, right? When you're going for created in PST time zone, what you will do is for this created in PST time zone, there's a formula which we have for interval. Okay. So I will just write over here, created date. Yeah, created date plus. Now there's a function called interval. Okay. See, as you can see, there's a function called interval. Just click on this insert. Okay. And you get this interval of 1 date. So just remove this part. So it will be plus interval of, instead of 1 week. Okay. You just write 1 hour. Fine. That's it. And here you will be writing minus of 8 hours. Okay. Because that's how it's being done. Okay. And the output type will be, of course, date time. Fine. And the format we can go for, I mean, sorry, this is number, right? I'm sorry, this is number. Precision and all is fine. Okay. And now let me just click on apply. Okay, it's saying created date minus interval of 8 hours. What has happened here? To date, created date in times. Give me a moment. Let me check it once again. Okay, this is date type. I'm sorry, this is not numeric. This is date type. Okay, so I am just going for date type, and the format I can just give it in this manner. Okay, y. So let me search with this y dash dash. Yeah, this is the format. Okay, and let me click on apply. Now, as you can see here, like for example, 2024 8 is written 0959. Okay, and if I go to created date, it is showing 1759, isn't it? So basically, it has converted 1759 to this one. See, 959. That means it has already done the difference. So this is the amazing way where in recipe, if you want to like with a particular date, if you want to add certain hours or if you want to subtract certain hours, you can just write interval 8 hours plus interval 5 hours in that manner. Okay. So yeah, that's done. Let me save it. And yeah, thank you all. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Bye.